The following presentation is rated R for real. Real insight, real enlightenment, real talk, big people argument. In other words, adult content. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Now, before you do anything else, before you scroll, before you skip, before you decide this is just another relationship podcast doing the same old boring thing, give me just a few minutes of your time. Because I'm about to tell you something that will permanently change the way you comprehend one of the most painful, miscomprehended word in the English language. And once you hear it, you will never unhear it. What word is that? Are you ready to hear it? The word is cheating. And what you've been told about it, what you know about it, may be far from what it actually is. Everything you believe about this term, cheating, everything you have felt because of it, has been built on a foundation no one has shown you or shared with you until now. So stay with me. Do allow me to ask you a question. Have you ever been cheated on? If you're bold enough, you may raise your hand. Now, let me ask another question. Have you ever been the one who have done the cheating? Now, I will in no way ask you to raise your hand this time around, regardless of how bold you may think you be. All right? You can keep that response to yourself. You see, the thing is this. When it comes to infidelity, what persons regard as cheating, one is quick to point the finger. But you see, when the roles is reversed and the spotlight is put on us, it's a total different thing. This day is the beginning of a rather thought-provoking, insightful, enlightening series on the psychology behind cheating. As I said, it ain't gonna be no regular podcast. And before you roll your eyes and start to think it's another lecture about men being dogs and women are crazy, you need to remove that thought from your mind, because the series, as I said, is in no way going to be the norm. Because the series is about the why. It's about the messy, uncomfortable, sometimes pathetic reasons people blow up perfectly good relationships for a secret text message or a 5-minute or maybe even a 1-minute quickie, aka what is known as a pleasurable moment. Now, relationships, just like anything in life, needs principles to succeed. Many relationships fails because persons have little or no knowledge of these principles. Knowledge is said to be power, but it's really the application of the knowledge that is actually produces power. Now, this is a safe space where you come to receive deep insight on matters of relationship, be it the principles, and so much more. And the reason for that is so you can become equipped with the knowledge needed to have a loving, lasting, and meaningful relationship. This is in no way the average relationship podcast. Here, we're going to deal with the sugar coating thing. No pretense. here is about being real. It's just real talk, real insight, real enlightenment. This is where truth is revealed. So welcome all to the Relationship Blueprint, Relationship Matters edition with yours truly, Sir, the Love Philosopher, your guide to living a meaningful, loving, and lasting relationship. And to the regulars who are learning to be the relationship architects that you ought to be, welcome back. Now I'm going to make a statement that may disturb some of you, maybe even all of you. Some of you may take offense to the statement. Who knows? Maybe all of you will take offense to this statement, but only time will reveal. Now here goes. This is the statement. The only way for someone to be cheated on, the only way you can be cheated on, is unless you were first treated as a property or a possession. You get what I'm saying? The only way a person can be cheated on is unless they were treated as a property or a possession. Now, just let that soak for a bit. All right? Think about it. Avoid reacting. Just think about it. Because by the end of the session, that statement is going to be a total different meaning based on your perspective. And it will even change your thinking about fidelity and cheating. Now, we were taught that the meaning for the word cheat originally meant to deceive, to trick, to defraud, or not having sexual relation with someone other than the one you're with. That's what we were taught. But what if there is more to the word? More to it than you were told. More to it than you were led to believe. Allow me to take you back in time to say the 16th into the 17th century, so as to reveal from whence the term cheating came. Now, cheating comes from the term escheat. And this is a medieval English legal process. This process was when someone died and they had no heir, no children, no family to claim their property, for the property to pass on to. What will happen, or what did take place in the 16th to 17th century, I think Dr. Shans may be able to concur or give me some added information on this one. But I think the same thing is taking place in this very time. But in medieval time, the crown would seize that property. So if someone died, they had no children, no family to pass on this property to, the crown would seize it. For some reason, I think it's still happening today. I stand corrected. Now, escheat is the legal dispossession of something that is rightfully owned. Same happens in this day. Well, there you go. So it's coming from the 16th or 17th century. Thanks for that, Dr. Shan. All right. Over the centuries, the word migrated from law to life, from property to people. And here is where it gets rather interesting. The word carried the original meaning. The meaning of the word escheat drop off the prefix, cheat, the meaning never changed. To cheat someone in relational sense was always from the etymological root about depriving someone. It is about taking something from someone that was rightfully theirs. Now let me tell you about Jack and Jill. And it's in no way the story you know about them going up the hill. Now, Jack and Jill was married for 14 years. They had 2 children, a home they built together, a life that from the outside looks exactly like what a successful relationship is supposed to look like. Jack was deemed the husband of the century, a good man who provides for his household, showed up, who has never raised his hand at Jill, never raised his voice, never behaved in any cruel manner. But for the past 3 years, Jack has been having an affair with a woman from the office. I don't know if he took her up the hill or she took him up the hill. But the affair was more than physical. It was a deep, sustained, emotional relationship that Jack was having, and it was in no way with Jill. He told the other woman, the side chick, the sweetheart, things he never told Jill. He shared fears with her that Jill had no knowledge of. And there were times when Jack would imagine a future outside of the one with Jill. Now, Jill had an inkling. Jill somewhat knew that Jack was creeping. But she never had no concrete evidence, It was just that knowing, that sensation, that sense that something is off, something is wrong. It's that thing that is known as woman's intuition. How many of you ladies can testify to that? You have that feeling that he's creeping, he's cheating, something is off. Now here's the question. And I want you to hold on to this question as we go through the session. All right? The question is, what exactly, specifically, precisely has Jack taken from Jill? What exactly, specifically, precisely has Jack taken from Jill? Now, when Jack comes home to Jill, he's smiling. He is playing the role, performing the role of the good husband and father, while privately having an affair. Jack is in no way just being unfaithful. He's depriving Jill every day. And what is he depriving Jill of? That's a good one, trust. But he's also depriving her of truth. He's depriving her of the ability to make a real choice about her life, as in stay or go. But because he ain't making known that there is another woman, she's been deprived of being able to make a decision. Now, what is taking place with Jack and Jill right there is in no way just cheating. It's no way just cheating. This is a sustained act of dispossession. Excuse me. So when someone cheats on the one they're with, they're in no way they're just having fun and making a mistake. Remember what I stated, that where cheating is coming from. Cheat. And cheat is depriving one of their property, what is rightfully theirs. Because in the oldest sense of the word, they are depriving the one they're with, the one they made a commitment to, of their security, their reality, and the life they created with them. That's what they're robbing them of. That's what they're depriving them of. You see, if cheating means taking something that belongs to someone else, the question is, what exactly is it did they take from you? Wow, that's a major one, Dr. Shantz. Potential health. Yes, indeed, Whoa, that's a big one. I think that one will be more tied to mental cheating, but hey, anyway, we going there today. All right. Oh, thank you, love. Thank you, love. Well, you said you realize how's your lip them dry? Need to wet my lip. Water alone won't do it. Thanks, love. All right. Now, I was asking, what is it exactly that someone who cheated on you have taken from you? And what they've taken is your time, your trust. Dr. Shan said it earlier, trust, and the version of yourself who believed in love. That's what they have taken. Now, I want to take you back to Jack and Jill. All right? I want to make you aware of something Jill did that changed the whole picture. And no, Jill never gave him bun. A Jack alone Jill go up the hill with. But what Jill did 2 years before Jack began his affair, Jill had a heart-to-heart talk with Jack. A quiet, vulnerable, terrifying talk. She told him she felt detached, that she felt like they were running a household rather than sharing a life together. What she also did was make known to Jack that she missed him. And not just his presence, because he was normally there on a regular basis. But what she missed was more than that presence, his physical presence. What she missed was the version of him that talked to her with interest, that made her feel special, that made her feel she mattered. That's the heart-to-heart interaction she had with him. Now, Jack said he understood, and maybe that was the issue he stood under. He never comprehended fully. But he said he committed that things would change. He would change. But nothing changed. Nothing changed. And Jack, instead of revisiting the decision acting on the decision instead of going to therapy, seeking help, putting in the work to reignite the fire in the relationship. He took the easy way out and established a bond with someone new. Now get this straight. The affair was in no way the beginning of the deprivation. The affair was the result of it. So cheating started long before the act of sexual relations with someone else. Are you getting it? Jill was being slowly deprived of a genuine closeness from the one she's with. It happened long before the other woman came into the picture. The affair in no way is the crime. The silence was. The non-responsive interaction. The slow daily decisions to stop showing up emotionally. That was where the real cheating began. Wonder if y'all getting this. Now, the uncomfortable truth is that the question of who cheated and when and how is far more complicated than we were ever taught, told, or allowed ourselves to examine. Now, the artist Adele has a song titled, Do You Remember? In the song, Adele reveals something most persons refuse to admit. And that is that cheating goes beyond the act of sex. Many persons believe that that's what cheating is. Having sex outside of your committed relationship. But get it straight. It is about the before and the after. The before the act, after the act. That is what cheating really is. What takes place before the act. The neglect, the disregard, the lack of emotional support. Yeah, that's when the cheating begins. The before is all those little moments where someone chooses to cross a line, disregarding the one they're with feelings, disregarding spending quality time. Yeah. Now the after is when you alone trying to remember who you were before they made you feel like you were in no way enough. That's the after, the aftermath, the after effect. It's a question so many persons ask when the one they're with cheats. Is it that I'm not good enough? What is it about me? Why they had to? What is it about that person? What? I'm not for do with you. It's all within them. It's in their head. And I'll get to it in a bit. So let's define our terms before we go any further. What does it really mean to cheat? If we were to do a survey and ask 10 persons, what is it to cheat? you're going to get 11 different answers. Possibly. You know? For some will say it's sex. For others, they may say it's emotional intimacy. For older folks, grown folks, grandma may say cheating. I'm not talking about a young grandma. I'm talking about grandma, maybe her 60s, 70s. You know, grandma, real grandma. All right? Well, you have grandma in them 50s still, but them not deem themselves grandma, them deem themselves mama, right? Our memes. No grandma, no granny around here. But seriously, someone say in the 60s or the 50s, yeah, watch it, or the 50s, a woman in the night who came into existence in the 1950s or let's say 60s, her belief of cheating might be the man she's with looking at another woman for more than 2.3 seconds. All right? She might deem that as cheating. So that's where the problem lies. The definition, there's no fixed definition for cheating. There's no fixed definition. But here's what I want you to think about this day. All right? Register this. Cheating is the violation of an agreed upon terms and boundaries. That's really what cheating is. Let me repeat it. Cheating is violation of an agreed upon terms and boundaries. The key word is agreed. So, if you never talked about it, as in if you never set any terms and agreement, can it really be cheating? If you never entered this relationship and said that, okay, this is the basis on which this relationship is going to be established. Dr. Shan said yes. All right. I know a lot of persons going to say yes, it's still cheating. But let me ask another question. If there was no ownership, meaning there was no my man, my woman, my husband, my wife made mention or established within this relationship, is it cheating? Remember, cheating has to do with possession, or property, or being owned. So when you lose that ownership, bring it to the owner. All right? That is what it comes down to. The question is, if those things is in no way in place, you're talking unspoken vows. No, there you go, unspoken vows. What you are referring to, Dr. Shans, because the answer is no. If those things not established, the ownership, the terms and agreements, nothing wasn't made mention, the cards weren't placed on the table. If that person goes outside of the relationship and have sexual relations with someone else, that is in no way cheating. What that is infidelity. Lack of faith, unfaithfulness, whatever you want to put it. It is disloyalty or betrayal of trust by an infidel. And an infidel is one who no longer trusts or has loyalty for what they are in. You see the difference? And that is what's happening. A lot of persons are mistaken infidelity for cheating. If the person not claim you, my man, my woman, my husband, my wife, because that ain't a thing in the relationship with the gem of a queen and I. We don't own nobody. We don't own each other. We have regard for each other. We have worship for each other. And worship means devotion. All right? I ain't getting into the worship too much this day. But see the difference there. Infidelity is what Dr. Shantz would refer to as the unspoken vows. But the cheating aspect of things has to do with terms, conditions, and ownership. So what is cheating really? Is it sex with someone outside of the relationship? Is it kissing someone else? Is it the late night text and deleting the messages? Or is it thinking about someone else while you lay next to the one you are with? You see, if cheating was just about the sex, it would in no way hurt as much as it does. All right? A person will never cry for months because of a physical act. You know why they cry for months? Because they were lied to. The person looked them straight in the eyes and lied to them. They betrayed their trust. That's why a simple message can feel like a dagger to the heart, because them say nothing no go so. You imagine things. Have you thinking you're crazy? It is that slow realization where the person realized that there was a version of that person that they never knew existed. So when the family member or the girlfriend or the boyfriend come and say, all right, in bridging come and say, yo, you know, say your girl a creep. Or the girlfriend come to her sister and say, you know, say your man not faithful. Because of the role they play and the show them put on. You know, in some cases it ties back to narcissism. Because when the love booming and all of that is taking place by a narcissist, person who they're putting it on, no one can tell them nothing. They're in love. Anyway, Narcissist series has already come to a close. I ain't going back on that. You have to go to the Sir the Love Philosopher YouTube channel and catch up on those past series on narcissists. So I'm saying when it hits home is when the person who has been cheated on realizes that there's a version of the person who cheated on them that they never knew exists. It's that little gut feeling there. When the tone changes and time changes and the attention span shift. You used to sit down and watch a movie on a first day, or you used to have a regular date night, maybe it's a freak day, Friday, or whatever. Things just change. There's always an excuse now for no want to do those things anymore. There's no interest in doing them anymore. And suddenly the question being asked is, in no way did you cheat, or are you cheating? The question the person will seek to ask is, who are you? Where is the husband to me? Where is the wife to me? Who are you? Where is this person that I've been involved with for X amount of years? Who are you? I'm trying to remember the song. I think it's Deborah Cox that has a song that has something to do with that. It ain't coming to me right now. Who's in my house or something like that. Either you can recall that song, then let me know. Now I need you to do this. Some cheaters keep their commitments while cheating. That is so. Just like Jack. Jack was playing a role. He never made known of his relationship with that woman on the outside. He was still seen to be the great dad, the great father, and the good husband. The husband of the year, the father of the century. right? But when it comes to a woman's intuition, she's going to pick up on something. What I need you to do right now is to turn inwards. This is about the man or the woman in the mirror moment, all right? Just for a moment. These are some questions I'm going to be asking. And I'm asking you to just really think about them. This has in no way anything to do with the one you're with or was with. This is all about you. So think about the following questions deeply. 1, is there a decision right now, this day, that you are failing to have with someone you profess to love? Or are you having that discussion with someone other than the one you profess to love? 2, is there a truth you are swallowing because the moment never seems right? You are refusing to make something known to the one you are with because you think the moment is never right. 3, is there a need you are failing to address because you think it appears to be too demanding? Are you failing to make something known to the one you're with? Is it they're losing interest? You don't feel like you're getting enough attention? Is it that the sex has loses passion? Is there something you're failing to say because you think that it's going to put too much pressure on them? 4, is there a growing distance you are pretending in no way exists because acknowledging it would require doing something about it? 4 questions for you to ponder on. And why those 4 questions was asked is because here is what this session has been building up to. The silence you are keeping right now is what is leading to cheating. The silence that was kept in the relationship is what triggered cheating. Cheating takes place before the act occurs. You see, the silence you're keeping or was keeping is in no way neutral. It is in no way safe. It is in no way kind. Person will say, I don't want to say this because we may offend them. That's the worst thing you could ever do. If you profess to love someone and you keep the truth from them, there's no way you can really truly love that someone. The man's stress and him sex performance off. But you're not going to tell him because you don't want to hurt him feeling. Instead of telling him and you both find a way to work on it, to improve the act. You see, there can be intimacy without sex, you know. Sex enhances intimacy. But a lot of persons put so much on sex that the intimate aspect of the relationship goes through the door. This is in no way a session on intimacy and sex, so let me stay on the topic. Now, this is what it is. The silence is the seed of everything we are going to be examining through this series. You see, we spend enormous energy defining, prosecuting, and punishing the act of cheating because it's taught to believe that it's having sex outside of the relationship with the one you're with. The physical betrayal, the discovered affair, the broken vows, all that is treated as a crime, we treat it as the beginning. These things are treated as the beginning, the broken vows, the act, the discovered affair. But what if cheating is almost never the beginning? What if what is called cheating is almost always the final visible symptom of the disease that has been quiet processing for years? It is in the background, it around quietly processing, like a processor in your computer. What is deemed cheating is that disease called emotional silence. What if the greatest act of infidelity in most relationships is in no way the affair? What if it is the thousands of quiet daily decisions of choosing to lie instead of being honest? The refusal to say I am lonely, the refusal to say I've lost myself, the refusal to say I am disappearing inside this life or this relationship and I have no clue how to tell you. What if the real cheating, the original cheating, the cheating that makes all other cheating possible is the silence we keep with the person we're laying next to? What if? Think about it. What if someone is doing emotional cheating, but the partner doesn't care? What if the partner doesn't care? It leads to ask, what type of relationship is that? Because if that's a relationship based on convenience, then hey, it's what's agreed upon. That's the terms and condition. So that would be a total different thing there, huh? Because if someone is emotionally cheating, it would affect the relationship. And if the person is in no way affected by it, again, I ask, what kind of relationship is it? There can be no love in that relationship. So give me some clarity, T20, based on that. What kind of relationship is it? I move on to say, what if the most faithful thing you could ever do for the relationship you're in and the one you're with has nothing to do with who is having sexual relations outside of the relationship, and have everything to do with the truths you choose to speak? Truths you choose to speak out loud starting tonight, before the silence becomes irreversible. All right. So the affair that is perceived as cheating or deemed as cheating is rarely the first betrayal. It is just the first one that gets a name. Do you get what I'm saying? The depriving the one you're with or the one you're with depriving you of attention, affection, support, that's where the cheating starts. That is because to cheat, remember, it comes from the terminology escheat, that is to deprive, to take away what is rightfully yours. So if you come into a relationship and you, especially if you lay your cards on the table, there are certain things that is almost like a binding agreement. You see, one person signed a paper thing there. Even if if the relationship you're in has nothing to do with matrimony, you're not signing a paper. But you say once you use that man uses what can be perceived as a pen and put that liquid ink on the woman's paper. I know you're supposed to can read between the lines, right? Once sex takes place, that's a binding agreement. That is a binding agreement. And as Dr. Shan spoke about the unspoken vows, a vow has been made right there. A vow is an agreement. It's a pledge that I will regard you. And if you're going to regard a person, you're going to regard their desires. But the mistake many persons make is them not talk about the type of relationship they're going to have. Them just have sex and them automatically believe that the person they have sex with is going to value everything they value without they even making it known. And that is why it is important to take the stages of involvement before even sex takes place. And the first step is observation. After you observe, say, yeah, I think I can be with this person. There is you confirming or reaffirming that, yes, I'll be with this person. Then there is dating. The dating is where you lay your cards on the table to getting to know. People don't do that no more. Dating is significant up to this very day. The gem of a wife and I, we still date. I mean, we do a date, you know, still, don't you, wifey? Yeah, but we still date. Even if we just take a walk up on the beach or something, have a glass of wine or something, we still have dates. We may not go out and do that date night thing as often as we would have. But we still have a date night. Have a glass of wine, watch something, or play some domino and drink a beer. Those things are significant. Lay down in the bed after hours and have an intimate interaction. Getting to know is significant. That is how you will be able to remain faithful. Now, if this episode have you looking at cheating in a whole new light, share it with someone who needs to hear it. It will be uploaded to the Sir the Love Philosopher YouTube channel in short order. Looking forward to seeing you here for the next relationship blueprint session, as the subject matter will be that of mental cheating, the invisible betrayal. That's what will be addressed. This is Sir the Love Philosopher, and this has been another thought-provoking episode of the Relationship Blueprint. If you desire counseling or just someone to talk to who will give you real advice, WhatsApp 345-923-2567. That's 345-923-2567, or email 547advisors@gmail.com. That's 547, numeral 5, numeral 4, numeral 7, ADVISERS@gmail.com. Thank you all for being here. If you have any questions, please send via WhatsApp. Number again, 345-923-2567. See you at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time next Thursday, what you all call Sunday. Thank you all for being here again.
5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
This concludes today's broadcast.